Recording. Welcome, everyone, to the Philosostrippers podcast. For those of you that don't know, the concept of this podcast is that we're all in the male entertainment industry. I myself manage a show called Hunkamania. We've got a dancer with us named Rocco. We've got DJ Dickum, who's our DJ for the show, and we've got Chris Irate Shields, who's done the show with us a couple times in the past. And how this podcast came to be is before the show, we'll all show up, we'll set up the club, get ready for the ladies to arrive, and then we'll usually have some time in between rehearsal and when the ladies start arriving to kind of shoot the shit. And I usually walk into the bathroom and there'll be some interesting conversations going on, and I always think to myself, Jesus, we should be recording this because it's, interesting. So, with no further ado, let's go around the room and introduce everyone. First of all, we've got DJ Dickum. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm the DJ for the show. I've been doing it for, I think, over a year now. And it's a lot of fun, and I've seen a lot of crazy shit.
Well, yeah, because you're, the way our club is set up is you're kind of up in the DJ booth. And if you can kind of visualize it, like everything in front of you is the club. So you can see everyone seated. You can see the stage. You can see the bar. You can see everything. And then behind you is the lap dance area. So you see all the shit that goes down in the lap dance area. Yeah.
Yeah, for better or worse.
So you've seen some crazy shit. We can get into that in a little bit. And then we've got Chris Irate Shields. What's up, man?
What's up, boss? I'm Irate. Been in the adult entertainment industry, music industry, entertainment industry as a whole for far too long now. I'm also a highly opinionated, uncompromising asshole, so it'll make for fun conversation.
Yeah,
and I'm drinking, and have been drinking since 1 p.m., and it's now 8, so let's get it.
Yep, I've got a glass of wine in my hand as well. And then, so we've got Rocco. Rocco, what's up? You're a student, and you're our massage hunk. You just got on stage last week, actually, for the first time. You learned the Navy routine.
Beautiful. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. Been doing the Navy. Come to the show to make the girls happy.
Can you qualify massage hunk?
I really don't do massages, but they get a lot of massage humping action, I guess that's what they call it.
So as far as the participants in the show, I guess you would say we've got the DJ, myself as the manager, and then we've got dancers, and then we've got massage hunks. And the massage hunks are there to, look good. If the ladies need a lap dance, they'll do a lap dance, but they're not necessarily featured on stage as like a cowboy or a cop or a fireman or whatever yet. So for now, Rocco's a massage hunk, but he just learned part of the Navy routine. So like the Navy routine, there's like the head Navy dude, and then there's like the side. I don't know what you would call him. What would you call him? The side dude, right?
Is it also known as the Top Gun routine?
The Top Gun routine. That's correct.
Makes more sense now. Gotcha.
Yeah. So he was one of the sides for the first time. And, there's some choreography to go along with it, and he caught on pretty quickly. And then there's myself.
Yeah, I think I even know the Navy.
Yeah, DJ Max could get out there and go through the Navy at this point. I go by Sarge. What were you going to say?
I said, who doesn't know the Navy? Anything that opens with Top Gun is the shit. Anything at all that opens with Top Gun is the truth. When I was little, I had Top Gun on VHS like twice, because the first time, a lot of people don't know this, but you can fuck up a VHS by watching it too much. I burned through that bitch.
The first VHS that comes to mind that I watched too much was Peter Pan. And I remember watching it as a child, and I'm a child at this point, remember, and watching like the actors on the screen and like feeling sorry for them, because I thought when I was watching a VHS that I was making them act. You catch what I'm saying? Like I thought that I was making them. You get what I'm saying? I was making them play, and I felt sorry for them because I was making them do the movie for me over and over again. And I was like, sorry, Peter Pan, you're probably exhausted. I've made you perform this movie 14 times today.
That's
you had
so cute.
You had a hella crush on Wendy though, didn't you?
Yeah, Wendy.
I don't know. Do you guys remember like an older? It was almost like a play set. You could like see the strings. You could see the wires.
Are you talking about the one where Peter Pan is played by a girl?
Yes, with short blonde hair.
Oh shit.
No, I don't know that one. I thought you were talking about like Disney.
Nah, dude, that's like old school throwback. I can't remember the chick's name, but it's a girl, it's a short blonde haired girl that plays Peter Pan, and it's really, I think it is a stage play that they just recorded.
Maybe the set. It was very stage play. Yeah, and the Tinkerbell was like a little light. It bounced through. I think it was on a string because they didn't even have like the technology to put that shit in at that point.
Nope.
What was this, like 92 or something? Like 93?
Maybe older. What do you think, 92?
I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. It was a long time ago. But myself, I go by Sarge. I'm the manager of the show. I take care of all the paperwork. I greet the ladies. I do the announcements in between, like, and next coming up is, the Top Gun routine or whatever. And I'm also a student, and I'm a big nerd. I'm into video games and all that kind of shit. So, what do you guys want to talk about?
I don't care, but drinking is a good topic. I'm down to talk about drinking, and I know you mentioned that you were drinking a chocolate rouge wine.
So I know jack shit about, like, I know that I like IPAs,
yeah.
But beyond that, I really don't know much about individual beers. And I don't know anything about wine. So I just moved into this condo that I'm in a couple weeks ago, and I knew that I wanted to stock up on wine just because it's, it's kind of baller to have a wine rack in your place.
It is.
And I went into Famous Liquors, and I basically just asked the guys, like, can you like point me out a couple of bottles of wine that are like under $10? And the first one that I opened is this chocolate wine, and it's delicious.
Are these the guys I sent you over to see?
Shit, I don't remember. I don't think so.
Oh, so
What? What just happened?
Today I can't do the IPAs, the dry hop stuff. If it tastes like, it's a drain pour for me. Are you guys opposite? I mean, I know I'm in the minority. I realize, like, the popular side of things is IPAs and very, very bitter, very hoppy.
I like
can't
to
do
a certain extent. Like, too much is obviously too much, but like, I had something that awesome. It's a really nice beer. Like, I just like a little bit of hops and like different flavors you can taste. So like, if it's just pure hops, that's like not that good for me. But I just like trying every different kind of beer I can.
So you're about the complexity, like the complexity of the palate. You like a strong finish, stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I went to actually a place called the Beer Market today, and they have like 500 beers there.
Yep.
And I had a nice Belgian quad, and it's like a Blue Moon on steroids, and it's so good.
What was it?
It was it's called Three Philosophers.
From Amagon. Yeah, awesome. Absolutely awesome.
It's a great beer.
That's great. I'm giving these guys another try. There's a local brewery here in Lombard called Flesk, Flesk, and everything they do is really hoppy and everything else. And I was over at a spot called Beer House, and I was talking to the guys about how I'd love to support, local guys and whatnot. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, you'll love their Running Man Milk Stout." And that's what I just poured before we got started here. And I'm not shitting you. Really hoppy finish on it, and it's killing my boner completely.
It's like Lagunitas, all their stuff is like really hoppy. Like,
same. And Lagunitas lets me down. I like, the owner's a really cool dude, but at the end of the day, they really, really let me down. And put $4 for a bomber of cappuccino style, like, you got to expect that shit to be subpar. You got to expect it to be subpar.
Have you ever heard of Kona Brewing out of Hawaii?
Yes, Kona's awesome.
They have like a coconut, like kind of like stouty beer, and it was extremely good. It was like a nutty coconut like beer, and it was very, very.
I haven't
tasty.
tried that. I'll have to check that out.
Like, yeah, I don't know if it's in season now, but it's
So Sarge is trying some wines. So what is it about having a wine rack in your place that makes it like super baller? Because I mean I've got my beer rack like you saw at my house. I've got an insane beer rack, but I don't really go for the wine thing. I mean the ladies, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the ladies. The ladies like
Sarge?
to see the wine rack. I don't. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we got you.
2-second delay over there.
Yeah.
God damn it. I do have a delay. I'll try and fix that after this, after my explanation of my wine rack scenario. But yeah, I lived with my mom until, a couple weeks ago. So I never had any like adult things, if that makes any sense. So like when I moved into this place, I was trying to think like,
I'm in that position now.
What do grown-ups have like in their place? And I'm thinking like, oh, they got wine and fucking wine glasses and, So I was like, man, an adult needs a wine rack. It's that simple.
Yeah, I could see that. I'll tell you what though, you pair. I just did a barrel aged in bourbon trace. If you like bourbon,
I kind of shied away from Goose Island though since they sold the Budweiser.
Yeah, they still do some pretty interesting things. I shied away from Goose Island because little known gossip within the beer circle. So the guy that sort of owned Goose Island and whatnot also has a stake in Virtue Hard Cider. But he sort of got ran out of Chicago, as legend has it, because he went into a bar on the north side and a bunch of people recognized him and he didn't. He was just out, whatever, but he fucked up and whatnot. And legend has it he pissed into a glass and left it in the bar for somebody to drink. So the beer community is not mega happy with him. So I shy away from products.
Really?
I mean, it sucks. It's kind of in a lot of ways, like in a real jackassy way. It's kind of hilarious. But if I was that dude, I mean, who's gonna pick up a random beer off as they didn't order? That's a total shithead move. So I don't feel so bad. Like it's not like he picked up somebody's like, drink while their back was turned and just whizzed in it. Like he baited some asshole that's gonna drink. Basically, somebody who's gonna be mad. You know what I mean? Disgusting. But still, not cool. Not cool. Don't call it beer.
Yeah.
Or don't drink Miller Lite because it's the same difference.
I don't even touch that stuff. That's so gross. I don't know if people do that.
My bartender at Beer House today, he had a funny little joke. It's pretty common. Everybody's heard it in the beer circles. But he said, Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, etc. It's like having sex in a canoe. It's fucking near water.
Jesus, that's funny.
He was great. He was really shout out to Tim from Beer House. He was really fucking great. He was an awesome bartender. Very, very knowledgeable. I actually had I can't believe I didn't bring this up. I've been drinking all day too much. There's a brewery called Slapshot. I'm gonna butcher this. Slapshot Brewery out of Chicago. They only do sixtels, so you can't buy bottles just yet. But they do have it on tap locally some places, and it's a fucking beer brewed with peanut butter.
That sounds
and
interesting.
It blew my mind.
I have to try it sometime. Would you know where they have it on tap?
Yeah, Beer House right at Yorktown Mall.
Anywhere else.
Well, you went to where'd you go to Beer Market?
I went to Schaumburg.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not far. You're 355 South.
No, I mean I live Arlington Heights.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to pull that up for you later and see if I can find it somewhere closer to you. But honestly, it's worth the drive, dude. And if you haven't been to Beer House, in Lombard, it's fantastic. It's almost like World of Beer. You ever been to World of Beer?
No, Beer Market's like the only big like beer place I've been to.
See, I go to the Beer Market down in Bolingbrook.
Yeah, see, I was gonna go there because my friend was meeting me. She lives down in like Frankfurt or somewhere around there. But we were gonna go to that one, but I didn't want to drive that far, so we went to Schaumburg.
Gotcha. Is it a regular thing for you? Do you regularly like hit up the big beer spots, do tastings and shit like that?
No, not regularly, but I'm gonna start doing it. I don't know. I still live with my parents, so I can't really like bring home beer, and I don't go out a lot because I have to drive everywhere because I don't want them to sit.
Drive, motherfuckers. It's not worth it. 100%. 100%. Rocco, what's up with you and beers, man? You drink beers? What do you like? Wine? You like margaritas? What's the deal? We heard your blender earlier.
Tequila, man, but I usually don't drink much.
Really? Patron XO? The XO Cafe? You get down with that?
I do Don Julio, man.
The Don Julio?
Traditional, authentic tequilas from Mexico, but I forget the name of them.
Okay.
About tequila, but like, what's like the deal? I don't know, people say like you eat the worm or something like.
Yeah.
Like what is that?
Worm that it's just, I'm gonna oversimplify the shit out of this, but it's a mealworm that they stuff in bottles of traditional tequila, or like a lot of like shady bars will drop a mealworm in there, or now like nowadays because it's trendy and hipsterish, they'll put like gummy worms in there and shit. And the idea is that the worm, quote unquote, absorbs alcohol from the tequila and is essentially like anywhere from 90 to 140 proof, and you pop it and you eat it and you're a badass if you do. Yeah. The reality of the situation is it's more gimmick than anything, and I don't know that it's necessarily traditional. I might be wrong on this. They're not truly Mexican either. It's one of those things that white people made up to feel tight during like the made up May 5th Cinco de Mayo shit that only we celebrate.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I feel like
I don't drink hard liquor at all. Like, I mean, not at all, but I mean, I'm a beer guy.
I feel like my first experience with hearing about like eating a worm was from Encino Man. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh shit. Is that Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser and what's his name? Pauly Shore.
Yes, Pauly Shore, fucking Biodome. Oh god, Pauly Shore was good. A lot of people like to pretend like Pauly Shore wasn't tight back when he was, and they want to act like now like they didn't love that shit. But there's a reason that motherfucker was popular. You know what I mean? Like In the Army Now was hot. Like maybe watching it now it's dog shit, but back then it was funny. And if you deny that, you're just lying to yourself.
He's got his own little niche. Like Pauly Shore does Pauly Shore like no one else can really do Pauly Shore. Almost like Andy Dick or like Jim Carrey. Like no one can really do what they do.
You know what I think is funny is that the three people you just mentioned are the three people that people will annoy them the most out of anybody. They'll be like, "Oh, I've got people that say I fucking hate Jim Carrey. How? The motherfucker made Ace Ventura.
He's
fantastic
great.
movie."
Yeah, Jim Carrey's one of my favorite actors ever. He made most of my favorite movies.
Is Einhorn.
Jim Carrey's dope, but Andy Dick not so much.
Nah, Andy Dick doesn't pop. Annoying. But I watched fucking Liar Liar the other day on Netflix. Shout out to Netflix, by the way, killing the game. But Liar Liar is a great movie too.
That was a good movie.
Man, it's like amazing.
Is anyone else like going in and out, or is it just me?
Like you have things like Netflix and like your phone.
That's just you, man.
Oh god damn it!
But it's amazing you have things like Netflix and your phone and like internet, and you're like, how did we live before all this stuff? Like,
well, here's the thing. How old are you, Dickum, if you don't mind?
I'm turning 23 this summer.
Okay, so you're a little younger. I'm 27. Like I'm not way older, but at the end of the day, like we live in an interesting time in the sense that like maybe not so much for you, but for me, like I grew up. Kids didn't have fucking cell phones.
No, me either.
Like Okay, all right. So did everybody in high school, when you were in high school, have
Yeah,
cell
like
phones?
I got my first cell phone in like 8th grade, freshman year of high school.
Okay. Now that's crazy to me. Like for me, in high school, the only kids that had cell phones were like the super rich fucking pain in the ass kids, like the the Regina Georges of the world. Shout out to the Mean Girls references. But no, like at the end of the day, it's funny to me to see, like, you know, we grew up playing in the yard, playing freeze tag, like you knew the neighbors up and down the block, and now everybody's a rapist and everybody's gonna fondle your kid, and it's fucked up, man. Like it's crazy how everybody's so connected, and that's why a lot of times, like, I'm a big foodie. I like to go out and my family owns some restaurants and stuff like that. So we go out and we do a lot of different things with food and just being around people. And in terms of socializing, I can't fucking stand when people are sitting there on their fucking phone just connected. So what we do is we make a phone tower. It's the best idea ever, and it's not original, but we all stack phones in the middle of the table off. Bill comes, has to pay the whole shit. And it works out well. It works out well because tune the fuck out, man. You know what I hate more than anything is, and you guys can all, you know, attest to this from the shows and shit, is live your fucking life. Stop looking at what's happening in front of you through a little 5-inch fucking screen. Cut it the fuck out. Like, we don't need videos and pictures and Snapchats and tweets of every little fucking instance of our lives. I'd gladly trade Netflix and Google and everything else right back the fuck in if we could have real human interaction back. You know what I mean?
Times are changing.
Well, I saw you mention that on one of my Facebook posts. I put up something, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, I thought I saw you at the gym, and I was gonna say hi, but I didn't know if it was you." And you were like, "Dude, just like say hi. What's the worst thing that could happen? You meet a stranger and you like become friends with someone. Like, what's the worst that could happen?"
I did. I said that to that chick. I was like, "Your life, boo boo. Fuck's wrong with you? Get out there, talk to people." I was gonna say hi, but what, bitch? But you went mute. But you have a fucking social anxiety, and that's another fucked up part of this whole nonsense. Is there's a new trend now. I don't know if you guys seen this shit, but there's a new trend now where kids are developing social anxiety because the only way they can communicate with people is through a fucking screen. Because, I mean, the internet adds like a level of anonymity, and it adds like in the phones and texting and shit. Like you're not really culpable for what you say, especially not immediately. You know, there's no immediate reaction and there's no real emotional depth to it. So it's created this fucking weird generation of zombie retards that can't even speak. It's
Yeah, I read an article about that. Kids are having anxiety when forced to talk face to face, but they can text like just 5 meters away from the person. They can't talk to the person.
That annoys me. Does that annoy you? Like when you're sitting at a table with people, or like being out at a club? Okay, like I get texting at a club because that works. Because you can't, like most of the clubs, especially here in Chicago, you have to fuck verbal auditory communication. Like that's not going to happen. You like just, you know, rub your nipple and wink at a bitch, and that's all the communication that's going down there. You're not speaking in any way, shape, or form. But other than like, why is everybody sitting? You know, Old Enclave or you know, anywhere, fucking Paris, Castle, all these upscale clubs. You'll see these motherfuckers sitting at tables with bottles that cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and everybody's sitting on their phone, tweeting away about it, like having such a baller time. Tweet? No, you're not, bitch. You're fucking sitting there on your phone talking about the baller time you should be having. I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Like I wish, maybe it's just me because I'm constantly, my phone just kind of got 4 businesses and shit like that. But when I can get away from this fucking thing, it's so liberating.
I agree. I mean, obviously I use my phone, and you know I do go on Twitter and stuff, but I'd really try and not use it a lot. Like sometimes I just put my phone down. People be like mad I didn't text them back. I'm like, well, I didn't want to use my phone. I'm sorry.
Right? Like you'll be taking a dump and you have no phone, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? And 3 minutes later they're like, what the fuck?
Sorry, I'm not good to my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you okay? Are you mad at me? No, I was fucking doing shit. You texted me 10 minutes ago.
That's the worst.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst. What's wrong?
I was living my life.
Something in your fucking head. Something in your brain is fucking wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's crazy.
Have you noticed that the demand is outweighing the supply at these shows lately?
Uh-oh.
Say what?
That's a question for the manager.
So have
Say
you
what?
noticed the demand is outweighing the supply at the shows lately?
Yeah, so we're hitting the peak season. We started doing the shows 3 years ago, and just to give everyone an idea of like the number of ladies that we're dealing with. So we started the show 3 years ago. It opened up in Chicago, and the summer is our peak season because obviously most people are getting married in the spring, summer, and fall, and so they're doing their bachelorette parties in the spring, summer, and fall. So our peak season for year one was like 40 or 50 or 60 girls, and that was like a good Saturday. And then the second year we had like our first over 100 ladies show up, so we had over 100 at a show. And then this last year we had Fridays. We had a couple Friday shows, which was awesome. Plus the Saturday shows were just off the hook. And then this year, this last Friday, we had 60, and our Fridays are usually small. So to have 60 on a Friday was epic. And then our Saturdays are already over 100. And what Rocco means by the demand outweighing the supply is that we don't have enough guys to entertain all the women. And that leads me into one of the topics that I wanted to talk about, and that's property value. And what we mean by property value is the amount that we have to do to get a dollar. And for instance, when one of the when one of the guys is going around and acting all crazy for $0, that means that we're going to make less money unless we do more for that dollar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it devalues your brand. We had that same issue, and you know, on the 4, 5, 6 shows that I consulted for with your company last year, we were 150. One of those shows we pushed up to over 200 girls, and at the end of the day, a lot of the problem comes from like you said, the massage stripper, so to speak, the guys working the crowd that aren't doing stage shows, that sort of they're there and they're having fun and they get caught up in the moment and they do devalue the brand. I mean, that was one of the harder angles. And to be honest with you, that wasn't something that necessarily fell into my scope of responsibility, but it's something I definitely did notice, that a lot of guys were there just to party and have fun, and were really devaluing the brand for the other guys. So how do you plan on dealing with that? Because I don't necessarily know how you can tackle that other than educating the staff or restaffing with people who can keep their core value, their property value up.
Wait, are you supposed to like walk away from a girl if you're like dancing on her or something and she's not like paying you? Do you just like, well, sorry, I'm gonna go to someone who has money, or like how do you do that without being rude?
Yeah,
I wouldn't initiate. I just wouldn't initiate at the end of the day. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same thing as any other strip club. Like, I'm not embarrassed to say that I'm on a first name basis with most owners and GMs of female strip clubs in the Chicagoland area. And at the end of the day, it's run completely different. The way these shows are run and the atmosphere and the environment, it's very, very different. I mean, a lot of people have the misconception that the sleazy, shit that guys like is the same thing that happens in these male reviews, and it's such a different animal. It's completely separate. So if you don't initiate, I don't know how. I don't necessarily know how that works out. I mean, girls aren't running around with dollars in the crowd, and that's part of the problem too. I think the crowd needs to be better educated in some way, but I don't have an idea. You guys got any ideas as far as that goes?
So like I think it comes down to education. So there's guys that come and they, for lack of a better term, they're just there to get their rocks off. You know what I mean? They're all full of testosterone. Maybe they've got money or they're not really worried about money, so they don't need to really think about how what they're doing is affecting the business. So they'll just get out there and they're all jazzed up. Maybe they got a heart on, and they'll get up and they'll start grinding on a girl, and before you know it, so for instance, the girl's sitting down on a bench. He'll stand so like his feet are on either side of her legs, and his crotch is effectively in her face. And I've seen a guy get in and just start like basically titty fucking the girl with his pants on, obviously, but that's what it looks like. And I made eye contact with him, and I was like, "Dude, you got to stop." And he came up to me and he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "How many dollars does she just give you?" And he held up $2, and I'm like, "You are publicly titty fucking this girl for $2, and now all of us, when we're going around and we're trying to get a buck for, letting them grab our arm or give us a little pat on the ass, they're not going to give up that dollar because they go, hey, she just got titty fucked for $2. Why should I give you $1 for anything less? So that's what I mean by property value. So yeah, you have to. Go ahead.
I can see that. I can see that argument. I mean, the biggest thing that I saw going on was freebies. But as long as the girls are paying, the level that you want to take it to is entirely dependent upon the dancers. And I'm not saying that they should be overextending it. But as far as I don't know how often you guys frequent the normal strip clubs, as I'll call it. I mean, it's really we'll call it strip club and male review to separate and differentiate. But strip clubs, it's that sit at the rail with what we call alligator arms, which actually works in this industry too, but it's, T-Rex arms. Their arms are too short to reach their wallet. And at the end, to get $1 or $2. And I have a rule personally when I go to the strip club that every girl, no matter how ugly, every time she comes up on stage, gets a buck, regardless, as long as she doesn't have a shitty attitude, she gets $1 because she's out there working.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But I feel like the girls that come to these shows don't understand the concept of it. If a guy's going to get a buck, do whatever you got to do to get a buck. But it's the times that they're giving it away for free that I see as truly devaluing the brand. If you're getting paid, you're getting paid.
Remember that one time that we had that review, and the girl was like, all the guys only went to the girls who had money flying around and were waving the money. And he was like, well, what else did you expect, woman?
She complained about that?
That's what this is. Don't
think that they already
said
did
in
the
her review.
Price, so everything is just supposed to be catered to them while they're in there. That's what they don't understand.
Well, and
the ticket price has nothing to do with the stripper.
Yeah, and to be fair, the ticket prices are not unreasonable either. General admission to the show is what, $20, $25? Yeah, get the fuck out of here. And you're doing it at upscale nightclubs, in the city, where you're going to pay $20, $25, $30 cover anyway. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that the female gender is going to be a lot cheaper when it comes to that anyway.
They have to be due to the economics of the situation. They don't have a lot of opportunities.
Some, yeah, some no. I'll be honest with you. Like those 4 or 5 shows that I did, even for Uncomania, and before I rolled into the new venture and stuff like that, there were some chicks that were caked up. I'll tell you right now, I upsold tables at, girls whipping out, $500, $600, $700 for them and their girls just to uptick to a table. We're not even talking bottle service. We're not talking any type of crazy shit. But I think that overall, women are just less educated on strip club etiquette, on stripper etiquette, and they think that, you guys are getting a cut of the ticket prices, when in reality, I feel like you should. I feel like the industry is fucked up as a whole and that you guys should. But, you don't. It's like delivery guys. A lot of people think like, oh, they get the delivery fee. Well, at Domino's, they don't. Tips is what they live on, and that's the same thing for strippers, sadly. Strippers and pizza. It's about the correlations.
You think
that'll be the name of this episode. The name of this episode is going to be Strippers and Pizza.
I like it.
Me personally, no matter what I'm doing, or wherever I'm going, even if that's going to the strip club or anything, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to not tip someone when I'm supposed to. So I always try and research and make sure I'm doing the right thing if I'm inexperienced.
Agreed, but we all can vouch here for the fact that, and yourself as well can vouch for the fact that you're in the far minority. Human beings as a whole are incredibly ignorant, incredibly arrogant, and just they all, like you said, Rocco, about the reviews. They all fucking want to be the center of attention, regardless. And it's like, do you even understand that your $25 general admission ticket is far, far, far beneath the girls that are even getting a table at $120 a head? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can tell the expectations are high because some will leave halfway through the show because they're not getting enough attention.
Really? You get walkouts?
Yeah, I'll notice a group just saying, "Oh, we have to go." Or it's just they wanted more guys, but they didn't have enough money, so they didn't know what else to do.
Wow, I've never experienced that. That's super crazy. Is that sort of Do you think that's more they don't have enough money, or do you think that's the show doesn't have enough entertainers, and this rolls back to the whole supply versus demand situation?
I think they just don't have enough money.
They told me they ran out of ones. Like they just didn't have
Oh
it.
shit!
So it's like, and they see the girls over there like making it rain on people and stuff. So it starts to get competitive.
And they feel salty.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, well we can't compete with them.
See, now that's another incongruency with the whole strip club versus male review situation, because at the strip club you get the weird motherfuckers that will pay cover and sit in, and that doesn't happen. I don't think that really happens at the male reviews. Not in my experience.
Well, wouldn't want to be catered to. They wouldn't mind watching. I think if it was a huge production, like if you made it look something of
like a movie.
Yeah, like a huge production. But other than that, they want to be talked to and asked how they're doing and told they're pretty and all that good stuff. That's
an interesting concept, because that's kind of after I parted ways with Hunkamania and went on to my current venture. That was sort of the idea. Is I feel like there's no show right now, especially not in Chicago, with production value that is rivaling of a Magic Mike or rivaling even what they expect. The expectations are high, and women are easy to lose focus. And I think that the problems within the industry, as far as like the pay scales between dancers and the way that the money's distributed around the back end of the industry, is completely fucking sandbagging the ability to have a destination show in a destination city. I mean, if it's not Vegas, they expect Vegas, and we don't have that here in Chicago because it doesn't happen.
That'd be cool to make it happen.
New York, Atlantic City, but Chicago isn't that,
Well, I mean, Chicago is that. The problem is that there's so many roadblocks, and I mean, it's a whole other podcast. We can talk for an hour about sort of my ventures into my forays into the industry and sort of trying to reinvent the wheel and push the bar so much further.
Oh, politics and all that bullshit.
The worst. Dude, the politics in the club industry, especially in Chicago, are fucking horrible. It's failing AIDS all day.
No, it is. Even being a DJ, like that's, it's you can be the best DJ ever, but if you don't know the right people, you're not getting anything. You're not getting any gigs.
Locations are
horrible.
Too. All the good real estate's already taken.
Mm-hmm.
All downtown.
All the good real estate's either already taken, or it's cost prohibitive, or they want you to give them, unfettered fucking not only access, but they also want control. They want to be able to draw their own lines in the sand. And when you say, okay, well, I'll guarantee you this, they go, okay, that's great. And then you go, but in order for me to guarantee you this, I need you to guarantee me this, which is like completely reasonable. I mean, like I said, I own 4 businesses. I'm not new to this shit. I've been working in the entertainment industry, not necessarily the adult entertainment industry, but the entertainment industry since I was 16 years old. I mean, at the end of the day, like, none of this is unreasonable shit, and they all come back and they all say, oh, but like, we know how these shows go, and we know what the other guys are demanding, and this is a little high. And you explain to them, you go, well, we're doing custom production top to bottom. We're doing custom choreography. We're bringing in, top, Billboard Hot 100 producers and things like that. Like, this shit's not cheap, motherfucker. I'm dropping $60,000 to put this show together, and you're not going to guarantee me my dates? Like, what? It's insanity. It's insanity. And you want to work with these big clubs and these big venues, and you do. You need the destination clubs. But at the end of the day, they don't give a shit. And the industry's so corrupt, and so much money goes out the door in so many of these clubs. Like, just from the bar angle, so much money flies out the fucking doors. What do you mean?
What do you mean by money going out the door?
I mean, like, okay, so just for example, I'm not going to name names here and get anybody in trouble, but at the end of the day, so let's say you've got a club that does $100,000 a night in bar ring, or I'm using round numbers. So we'll say $100,000 a night in bar ring, which is insane. It's an insane night. It's crazy insanity. That bar ring was probably closer to 130, 140. But at the end of the day, it's all getting backhanded. There's so much cash that flies out the door that doesn't get accounted for. There's so much bullshit. There's so many people, even up the ladder. You've got managers, GMs, you've got regional managers, you've got fucking, guys that just skim. Everything gets skimmed. It's like the mob. Everything gets skimmed 6 or 7 times. It's ridiculous.
That on Bar Rescue, if you ever watched that show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sometimes.
They'll start measuring the bar, and they'll see people are stealing. There's another show where this people will be losing money and they don't know where it's coming from. So they'll just have a team come in and they'll set up surveillance cameras around the whole venue and they'll figure out what the problem is. And it's always somebody just stealing, like not accounting for what they're selling, upselling people but giving them cheaper product and keeping the difference.
I could never do that to anyone.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing: is everybody that goes into this industry comes in sort of a virgin and says, "Oh, I have integrity. I operate." And very few people in life have integrity. I'm of the opinion. I've got my own little personal motto, and it goes, it's integrity is paramount. Everything else is negotiable. But at the end of the day, nobody operates like that. I mean, and when you come into the industry, you go, "Oh yeah, no, I'm going to do this right," and I'm going to, and you quickly realize that you're going to hit a glass ceiling. Very quickly realize that. And then you go, well, fuck it. Everybody else is doing it, so why not me? And then you see, like, and it's not even the front line. Like, essentially what you're talking about, Rocco, is frontline skimming, where, people are actually handling the product and frontline negotiation with the customers and things like that. And, yeah, that's a problem. But the bigger problem is as it travels up the ladder. I mean, when you see a drop, when there's an envelope drop, and it is all cash, mind you, like, just being in entertainment, I mean, I've seen cash envelopes with 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, $100,000 in them for a night. And that envelope does not leave there as heavy as it came in, ever. Not fucking ever. And again, like, I'm not going to name names, I'm going to mention clubs, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of fucking snakery going on, and there's a lot of bullshit. And you can say, okay, well, our show makes this much money, but then you look at the end of the night, and they go back to the tallies, and they go, oh, well, you only rang, 70% of that. And you're like, no fucking way. That's impossible. And then you look like an asshole because you're trying to operate on the up and up, and then you get frustrated, and then integrity just dies. It just dies.
Jesus Christ.
It's scary out there.
It's a fucked up murderous industry. It's an industry full of vampires, and honestly, I mean, it's a great time. Nightlife is awesome. It's great to enjoy, but if you want to have a career that you can feel good about, and you want to, like, go to bed at night. I mean, some of these dudes go to bed at night with an extra $20,000 in their pocket. So yeah, don't get me wrong, like, that feels hot. But at the end of the day, like, if you wanna turn a fair buck and you wanna operate with integrity, it is the wrong industry to be in. The club industry, the nightlife industry is the wrong, especially the adult entertainment side of it, the wrong industry to be in. There's so many users, so many abusers. There's so many people that dump their workload on the back of others and use them like donkeys. It's fucking ridiculous.
Sounds like you're describing the porno industry.
Oh, the porn industry's got more scruples than the stripping industry, honestly, because the porn industry is more mainstream now. Like, I've done.
What do you mean by scruples? What's a scruple?
Scruples, like integrity. It's like an old school throwback term. Like, well, we had scruples back in my day, but
so you're saying the porn industry is almost like more straight than the male than like the like
than the nightlife scene, not necessarily the male review scene, but yeah, no, for sure, some of the male reviews definitely. But like, the thing about porn is that porn is, dictated by billions now. So now you've got forensic accountants involved. Now you've got companies like, Brazzers, Reality Kings. You've got a lot Train Entertainment. Like, you've got a lot of big players in the game. You've got fucking LA Direct, who's managing all the girls. And now think about if all of your talent, Sarge, think about if all your talent had a management that came in and fucking audited everything. Think if your guys were not employees or, one-off employees of that event for the night, but your guys were, contracted subcontractors to come in and work for that evening. The ability for the talent to get fucked over is so diminished, so incredibly diminished. And I mean, that's why you got porn stars banking $380,000 a year now. That didn't happen 10 years ago.
That's a lot of money.
The big labels, though,
those are dudes, by the way. Those are male performers banking $380,000. The girls can do $500,000 to $1 million a year
for having sex.
But you got to fuck on camera, and I don't know if I'm all for that.
Well, what's the difference? If it's $1 million a year, it pays a lot of motherfucking bills, man. And at the end of the day, if you're real about yourself, I mean, I get that a lot of people get freaked out about, like, being in the industry and whatnot, but at the end of the day, if you're real with yourself and you don't, I mean, none of us have a career in politics. Let's be honest. I'm too much of an asshole, and I don't know that any of you have aspirations to be a fucking alderman. Maybe you do, but I shouldn't speak for everybody. But at the end of the day, if you're not going into politics, you're not trying to get into a government job, you're not trying to do some shit where people are going to judge you on some weird, like, give us your Facebook password type shit, Then fuck it. Who cares? Be you and live your life. It goes right back to what I said to that girl. Live your life, boo boo. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do.
Get money. Fuck it.
Get money, fuck bitches. That's the motto. That's the second motto.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so I think enough of the politics. I got a question for you guys. If you're at the gym and you see a chick doing squats and she's wearing yoga pants, and her yoga pants are see-through to the point where every time she goes down and does a squat, you can see through the yoga pants and you can see her asshole. Should you go up and tell her that you can see her asshole through her yoga pants? Go.
For comedic value, yes, you should say exactly that. Excuse me, miss, I can see your asshole. But no, honestly, she's looking for attention. She knows what the fuck is up. She's not stupid. She went to Lululemon.
You think she knows?
Yeah, that bitch went to Lululemon and specifically bought a size too small. Come on.
All right, so I
go to the gym, so I think I might sit this one out.
I was at school. I was at school the other day, and I was just sitting in the hallway at school doing homework, and a girl walked by, and she was like a bigger girl. Like maybe she bought these yoga pants and then gained 30 pounds. And she was walking by, and I could see straight through the yoga pants, and I could see what color her underwear was. Like, do you think all these girls that are wearing yoga pants know that you can see through them? Like, do you think maybe some of them are unaware?
Yeah, no, they have to know.
There's no way.
Yeah,
I mean, do you ever go out of the house not knowing what you look like?
Do you know how much bitches look at themselves in the fucking mirror?
Tell me about it.
They even do the bend over test, so they're like stand behind the mirror and bend over and look at themselves.
Yeah, no, they know that. They're like, ooh, it's showing just enough. Listen, being trashy is back in, and I'm not going to complain about it in any way, shape, or form, because I love strippers. I generally, I had a rule for like 5-6 years where I'd only date strippers. But yeah, no, I mean, like I'm depraved like that. But at the end of the day, like they know what the fuck is up, man. They know what's up. I was just at Enchanted Castle earlier playing skee ball on some like real innocent shit, and I'm looking at the prizes, and these Bratz dolls are dressed like straight up prostitutes. Like little girls now at 12, 13, 14 are getting yoga pants banned at fucking school because these bitches are wearing shit that you can see through. They know what the fuck is up.
That sucks.
Do you hear about that? Yoga pants are banned at some schools now and shit.
At middle school,
what like
high school,
like middle schools or high schools or what?
Yeah, both, dude. There's a whole thing. It's like recently they just had these schools ban yoga pants completely. Yoga pants and shorts, and then just like typical feminist bullshit, a bunch of moms and fucking dirty little Susia 12-year-olds come out and protest, and they're like, keep the boys' eyes off us. Don't persecute our wardrobes for what those boys think. Bitch, it's fucking human nature. Cut it out. You know what the fuck you're doing. You know what you're doing. Stop it. Don't place the blame for your whoring on dudes and their fucking preteen hormones. Like, come on, man. Dudes are getting boners in math class talking about 2 times 2, and you're going to fucking poke your ass out of some Lululemons that are 3 sizes too small? Stop it.
Yeah, they said they were too distracting. So.
Does anybody ever go up to the chalkboard anymore? I hope not.
I don't think they even have chalkboards anymore.
It'd just be a boner fest.
That's funny.
They are at their iPads now. I don't know if they do chalkboards.
Well, speaking of shit being like kind of trashy as in you said, is how many of you guys are using like the online dating applications?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I had great success on Plenty of Fish.
I did for a little bit, but
success.
I just no.
Chris, I know you've been with your lady for I don't know. You guys were on and off for a while, but
4
I know
years on and off.
Yeah, you guys have been steady recently. So, and Tinder came out recently. Have you used Tinder?
No. Peep game. So my girl is into girls, and that's why my girl is my girl. But so now I'm not gonna say who, where, what, when, but there's a joint profile on one of these little sites that we're working right now and picking up little extra birdies to come play at the iPad. We call it the iPad. Sorry, I'm a total douchebag. But yeah, the hot tubs, the iSplash, the theaters, the IMAX. It's a good look. But anyway.
Oh, you're talking about your house? You call your house the iPad?
The iPad.
But not like
so cool.
But not like
EYE.
Yeah, EYE, not lowercase I with a dot over it.
Yeah, I got the iPad. The theater in the basement is the IMAX, EYEMAX, and the iSplash, EYESPLA. And then the iBounce is the trampoline, the 15-foot trampoline out back.
You're a big dork. Anyways, so you've got a joint profile.
Yes, yes, and it's great success. I'm telling you right now, dude. It's a great look. It's a fantastic look. Um, it is what it is. So it's one of those things where if you know what you're doing and you take advantage of the technology that's out there, it can be a choice asset, we'll say.
So have you used Tinder?
No, not well. Here's the thing: is I've heard about it. I've got a friend who's a female who uses Tinder, and actually met her boyfriend on there. And it,
Yeah.
I knew about Grinder, which was the iteration of Tinder, the first iteration, which is actually gay.
Yeah.
And it made a lot more sense because Grinder was like, I saw a stand up where somebody was talking about it too. I think it might have been Joe Rogan, where he talks about how like on Grindr it makes sense because as a gay dude you're like, oh, here's like 7 or 8 dudes that want to suck my dick and I want to suck their dick, and okay, cool, and we're all in the same room. But as a girl, like as soon as you turn your location on, like every dude within 10 feet just is staring at you creepy and wants to fuck you, and it makes sense. Like I always thought it was a terrible idea, but is it different in any way? Like is Tinder different than that? Is there
Tinder
some way
is kind
that
of
they
like,
that?
yeah, Tinder is exactly like Hot or Not, except whenever you like hot someone or like you click yet, whatever you want to call it, there's a heart and there's an X. If you click the X, it gets rid of their picture and you never see them again. And if you click the heart, then it's like you like them, and then your picture shows up in their app. So then when they're going through all their people, if they heart you back, then what Tinder does is it automatically opens up a chat in between the two of you.
Okay, so it's not location based like Grindr or like Blender was. Blender was Grindr was the first one with the gays. Then Blender came out, which was the location based straight version of that, which is where it gets real creepy. And so Tinder's completely different. It's like a mishmash between Hot or Not and Plenty of Fish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like you can set it to the location, so you can say include everyone within 50 miles of me, include everyone within 10 miles of me, or whatever you want to do it. You can set it the ages. You can say only match me up with people between the ages of 20 and 28 or whatever.
Is there a checkbox for yoga pants?
Nah, there's no checkbox for yoga pants.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really good look. See, I didn't fuck with it because I thought it was just the next iteration of Blender, where it was the location based shit, and it's never gonna work. But that sounds actually really, really interesting that they took Hot or Not's model, which has been around since the dawn of time, and everybody, back in the day, like, oh my god, I'm on Hot or Not. But no, that's awesome. Have you seen success from that? I mean, obviously you've used it.
I've been kind of seeing a girl for the last couple weeks, but I met her on Plenty of Fish, and while I was on Plenty of Fish, I was also using Tinder, and I met one person from Tinder, and we went on a date, but it never really went anywhere. Like it was an awkward, those awkward. Some of them go good, some of them go bad. This was one of those awkward dates. But the other chats that I ended up matching with like 50 or 60 girls, and most of them were just like, hey. And then they were like, hey, and then nothing came of it. I actually ended up only meeting one person out of those like 60.
Were any of them like, were there any ones that popped up where you were like, okay, this is a good look. Like I really want to fuck this girl?
From their pictures, yes. But then like once they start talking, it's like, hey, what's up with you? It's like nothing. I've got a telescope and I'm fucking in school, and either they're like, you're too nerdy for me, or like, oh, you're a stripper, I don't want to deal with that.
You have a telescope?
Yeah, I have a telescope.
That's so cool.
Oh, it's a legit one too. It's not one of those little,
Man, I love looking at the stars.
This is like a legit. It's got a 5-inch mirror, so like, childhood telescopes that you would get when you're a kid are usually like as big around as like a water bottle, but this is like a big 5-inch mirror.
That's so cool.
You can see the moons of Jupiter, you can see the rings of Saturn and all that.
What? For real?
Oh yeah.
Man, I should come over sometime. We should take a look at that.
Absolutely, I want you to come over.
That'd be
My
so
dick's
cool.
getting hard thinking about the rings of Saturn right now.
Dude, that's so cool. Like that planet has rings. Like, how cool is that?
And you can see like, so there's different like, so there's spaces in between some of the rings, and one of them is called, I think it's called the Cassini ring, or the Cassini space, and it's the space in between the rings that the Cassini satellite. There's a satellite flying around Saturn that is called Cassini, and it flew in between these rings. So now that space in between the rings is called the Cassini space.
There's also like potential life on the moons up there too.
Yeah, Titan has potential life. Europa has potential life because Titan's got an atmosphere and Europa's got water.
That movie was pretty bad. There's another one that they just discovered recently that also has the potential for life. Also, I don't remember what it's called. Those two. It was like 2 years ago. I saw it on what was I reading? Might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson's blog. I don't know. Speaking of which, Cosmos is the shit, and it's on tonight.
Yep. I'm. Oh, did you see Game of Thrones last week?
Yeah.
No spoilers. Shut up.
Oh, it was so good.
I watched the season
It's so
straight
good.
through. Season straight through. That's it. But I love dragons though. You remember it was you, Jimmy, when I posted that shit. Dragons, bitch. We got
Dragons, bitch.
Yeah, no, dragons are my shit. I love dragons. I'm actually. Oh, I don't know if I told you this. I'm actually totally side note. I'm getting my first tattoo. Matter of fact.
You don't have any tattoos?
None. Zero tattoos. I've never, your body's permanent, and at the end of the day, I've never had anything important enough. Like, I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and a lot of crazy stuff from foster care all the way up on through whatever. That's 2 podcasts in and of itself. But no, I after the last 2 accidents I had back in October, and then New Year's getting T-boned and almost being paralyzed and shit like that. I'm getting a badass, realistic, like super realistic, hyper realistic dragon done across my chest and onto my left arm, and then I may actually be flying out to Okinawa to have it done by one of the masters, the grand masters of realistic tattoo.
That sounds
Get
awesome.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. If I'm gonna do it, if I've waited 27 years, if I've waited 27 years to fucking scar my body with art, and this has a lot of personal meaning for me, so to have that done is you might as well just fucking do it in the only way that makes sense. To me anyway. You know what I mean? Like go above and beyond and just have it done perfect.
Are you gonna have it done the old school way where they take like a wooden needle and they tap it? You know how they tap? They do the tap 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 tap.
Yeah,
tap,
well,
tap,
that's not Japanese. It's actually Polynesian, where they used to do that because you can't get any real detail out of it. This guy does hyper realism, and when I mean hyper realism, I mean like if you've ever seen, everybody's seen the picture on the internet of the spider tattoo where it's the shadow and it looks like it's coming off. It's that. It's like that, and it's going to be not, and it's funny because everybody say, oh, Okinawa, dragon. Everybody thinks, Asian dragon, the ones that look like child molesters with the weird fucking mustaches. Never that, never that. Not Mushu from Mulan. We're talking about badass. Like if you ever saw that movie Reign of Fire with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey all fucking jacked and just like oiled up and swinging axes at fire-breathing English battle-scarred dragons. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about traditional mythos. Almost like Smog if you're into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the 2 dragon movies that come to mind when I think of dragons are Aragon and Dragonheart. With
what about Dragonheart? Yeah.
What about
Sean Connery?
Mm-hmm. What about what?
How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, that's my shit. You know what's funny, man? A lot of people hate on like all the crazy like fucking Disney animated. I love that shit. I love Frozen. Olaf is the truth.
I heard that was good. I didn't see it, but I heard it was really good.
It was good, man. The music is good. If you can get over the whole like I'm hyper masculine and I can't watch kids movies, dude. I got so much shit. You know what's awesome? In my theater, I got a 3D setup. And Wreck-It Ralph is still like my hottest shit, dude. I'm gonna wreck it. I love it. I love that shit. Disney movies are the shit. Like, if you can't fucking dumb out and watch like kids movies or shit that's designed for kids but just amazing, you're wasting your life. Like,
Have you guys seen Adventure Time?
Yes, Adventure Time is my shit, bro.
That's
I'm not even kidding you. The ringtone on my phone when my girlfriend calls me is the Adventure Time joint. I said we have the hot tub out back. We have matching Finn and Jake robes for that. I'm not bullshitting you. I call her the Ice King because she steals all my princesses.
That's so cool. Yeah, that show's so dope. It's like kids, but as an adult, watching it, like it's so good.
Dickum, you get real high, don't you?
Sometimes.
Don't lie, motherfucker. I know. Nobody. I mentioned Adventure Time to somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, word." And I'm like, "You get real stoned, don't you?" And they're like, "Yeah." You got to, because if you watch that shit's over, you're gonna fucking kill yourself.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Adventure Time?
What?
Shut up,
my God.
dude. Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Dude,
when
go
you've been the human.
Go to Netflix.
What comes to mind is those little. I think they featured it in South Park. It's like the little furry bunnies and the little woodland creatures. It's a cartoon, and it starts out all innocent, and then before you know it,
Happy Tree Friends, where they murder each other.
Happy Tree Friends is what I'm thinking of.
Happy Tree Friends goes super hard, but no, dude, it's no. Fucking Adventure Time is It's crazy. So basically, the idea is there's Jake and Finn, and Jake is a human, Finn's a human, and Jake is a dog that can like basically manipulate his size and shape to anything at all.
So you can turn into anything.
Yeah, and they live in the Candy Kingdom, and there's Princess Bubblegum, and it's real. It sounds real gay and real kiddie, but there's a lot of crazy fucked up concepts. It's like an Adult Swim kind of deal, and
it's like a huge acid trip.
Yeah. Oh, it's seriously like a half-hour-long acid trip every episode. And there's the main bad guy is called the Ice King, and he's this creepy old dude. And like you learn about his I almost said etymology, but like you learn about his origin.
How he came to be,
yeah, like later on in the seasons and shit. But like he's real creepy, and he's got a ton of penguins, and they're all named Gunther. And his whole life is about stealing and marrying princesses. And he just wants to jack like the Bubblegum Princess and the Blueberry Princess and all these different princesses. And it's just like Jake and Finn go on adventures. And Marceline, Daddy, why did you eat my fries? Dude, it's too much inside shit. I can't even explain it to you. You got to come over and we'll fucking get fucked up.
It's on Netflix. It's all
great.
on Netflix.
It's
so
great.
Good.
It's super great, dude. It's awesome.
Oh, man.
Never heard of it.
Lumpy Space Princess is the best. I love LSP. I've got like 10 different glasses with all the different characters and shit.
For real?
I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, we're about that Adventure Time life over here for sure.
That's so cool. Adventure Time's so good.
But we also tend to get like real fucked up pretty often. So there's that angle to it, because when people are like, "What's that?" You're like, "Oh, damn it!" Like I can't explain this without sounding a total fucking weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great.
It is great.
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time.
Come on, grab your friends. Dude, I swear to God, it's my fucking ringtone. Hold on, I'm going to grab my phone right now.
Yeah, sing the theme song.
I'll play it. I have it on my fucking phone right here. Hold on.
By the way, I'm real drunk at this point.
Beautiful.
I'm seriously pissed that it's Running Man Milk Stout. It's a milk stout with a goddamn hoppy... Oh, here it is. Apparently she's listening to the podcast upstairs. This is when she calls. You hear it? Yeah, that's
so
the
good.
Adventure Time theme song. No, it's great, man. It's awesome. It's an awesome little show that if you want to dumb out and just be ripped out of your mind and watch, it's great.
Have you ever seen the episode where they write note cards for the whole day in like 10 minutes?
Maybe. Again, I'm only watching when I'm really fucked up.
Dude, that's so
well, that's the best part, dude. Like, okay, so I'm really into so at my house I've got, like I said, the theater set up, and I'm really into nature documentaries too. Like I've got every planet Earth. I've got the crazy collector set with the art book and all that shit. And the best part about being fucked up when you watch it is that you don't remember. So every time you watch it, it's like watching the first time.
Oh, nice.
It's the same thing with Adventure Time, dude. Like I could start from the beginning and watch it all straight through, and I guarantee you, like, and other than like the big, like Daddy, why'd you eat my fries, and like the Ice King origin episode, like other than those big like staple, like whoa, I'll never.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dude,
you gotta watch it.
Next podcast, this fucker's gonna be like, so let's talk about Adventure Time. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Oh Christ!
It started as like a YouTube show. And
yeah,
then it got picked up.
It was a joke at first.
Speaking of nature documentaries, I've got that Blu-ray box set also. It's called Life on Earth, and it's got Life, Planet Earth, Nature's Most Amazing Events.
Yeah, you got the same one I do. It's like in a book.
I think you are the one that tipped me off.
Yes.
You said it was on sale at discoverychannel.com for like $20 or something.
It was like $30 or something. Normally like $200 or some shit.
Best investment I've ever made. It entertains me every time. Anyways, there's a bunch of different narrators. There's David Attenborough. There's Oprah. Who do you think is the best narrator?
Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver. Solid.
Morgan Freeman.
No, dude, Attenborough. Attenborough shits on everybody else. If you're going to do a fucking nature documentary, it better be done by David Attenborough. I'll watch the Oprah version. I'll watch the Sigourney Weaver shit. Like, I'll watch the shit that, who else? There's another dude. Was it Kevin Bacon? There's another dude that did one. But no, I mean, it's got to be David Attenborough. He's just got that quintessential BBC, we're out in the tundra. Like, I can't even do it, man. I can't do the guy justice. I'm not even going to try and impersonate it. He's the best, hands down, to me anyway.
What's the frog that when it's threatened by something, like there's a scene in one of them where this frog is like climbing up a sand dune and there's like a scorpion or a tarantula at the top, and it just goes limp and rolls down the sand dune, and that's like its hidden power.
Oh yeah, and it's like flopping.
Nah, it goes stiff, and then it rolls down.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
God damn it.
It's a frog that lives in the desert? That doesn't make much sense.
Sounds
Frogs
like
are amphibious.
sounds like Slippy Toad from Star Fox.
Right? Do a barrel roll. That fucker was always getting some shit. Dude, tell me why. How are you going to start over after dying? And that motherfucker's like, they're on my tail. Come on, bro. Give me 2 seconds to, like, acclimate to some rings or something, dickhead. That game blew my mind when I was younger. Star Fox, like, not the 64, none of that. The original Star Fox, you remember it had, like, they had a little stamp on there that was, like, FX chip. And you're like, damn, this is hella 3D. But really, it was dog shit.
It's like Star Wars when it first came out.
Oh, Shadows of the Empire you talking about on 64?
I forgot which one it was. I always play like multiplayer with all my friends.
Oh no, it wasn't that. No, there Star Wars Shadows of the Empire was like one of the first. I think it was a launch game for N64, and that shit, dude, I played through that game like 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000 fucking times. You ever play that shit, Sarge?
Which game? Star Fox?
No. Well, Star Fox first we're talking about for Super Nintendo, but the N64, the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
I played so many Star Wars games. I don't think Shadows of the Empire is one of the ones that I played though. Knights of the Old Republic was one of my favorites.
That was an MMO, yeah.
And then The Force Unleashed is one of my all-time favorite Star Wars games. Did you ever play that?
No. This is going way before those games. This is like. This is fucking N64 launch title type shit.
Aren't they coming out with a new Star Wars Battlefront?
Battlefront 2, I think.
No, I already had Battlefront 2. That came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really fuck with the Star Wars. I don't really fuck. Honestly, I should play more games than I do. I really should.
Star Wars is so cool.
Did you play The Last of Us?
No, dude. Here's the problem. The problem is I got really burned out on gaming after like playing Counter-Strike forever and taking that super serious and like doing that bullshit and playing for alien gamers and all that nonsense. Like where it wasn't really fun, it was more of a job. That shit sucked. And then it kind of burned me out. And like I play a lot of Xbox stuff, but I like to play like the dumber shit. Like I like to play. You know what? Some of my favorite shit to do is I like to play Peggle. You know what Peggle is?
Mm-mm.
No.
Dude, it's a hot... Okay, so you know that game Plinko on fucking... Yeah. Okay, right. So you know Plinko. So
From The Price is Right?
Yeah. So what Peggle is there's a bunch of pegs all around on this thing, and you're a different, like, dude, and there's a little cannon, and the goal is to hit the pegs and bounce off the pegs and get it to knock out all the orange pegs. So once you knock out all the orange pegs, then you win or you get more points. And there's different ways to do it. Like it's all about the geometry and all about sort of like the angle of the dangle. And there's all different characters that have different special powers and shit. But it's real stupid. It's like a little 2D fucking arcade, Xbox Live Arcade. Like I love Xbox Live Arcade. It's all little side scrollers and all like the throwback games that are fun. But you don't have to like sit there for 20 minutes and learn the goddamn controls. And like if you leave these games for like a month, you're not like lost when you jump back into it. You know what I mean? Like I love the immersive games. I love that. I do. There's a special place in my heart for like, you know, the Call of Duty single players and you know, like Bayonetta. I absolutely loved. God, that was a fucking great game. But sometimes you just want to dumb out and play like some Super Mario Brothers, like some dee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got all those, but recently, just like since I started school 3 years ago, the time that I have for gaming is like extremely limited, and just for me, I want that experience to like I turn the lights down, I pour myself a beer, and I want that experience to be really rich. So like I'll wait until a game comes out, and when I see that the review for a game is like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 on most websites, I'll go and pick it up. And most of the games that like I've really loved and suggested to friends have been games that have like really rich storylines, that have really complex features. Like for instance, The Last of Us. The game opens up with
it's a zombie game, right? With the little girl
it's a zombie game, and if you can imagine what it would be like if you woke up in the middle of the night and the zombie apocalypse was happening in the middle of the night, that's how the game starts. And literally, you play the first 5 minutes.
When else would it happen, though? Like, honestly.
Huh?
When else would it happen? Like, the zombie apocalypse? Like, I can't imagine it happening at, like, noon. Like
well,
you're
it
out
did
to
in
lunch.
World War Z. In World War Z, they're in rush hour traffic at noon.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough.
That was a good movie.
But yeah, so
That
it
was
happens in the
solid.
middle of the night, and you're playing as like this little girl, and your dad is carrying you around. I won't give any spoilers, but basically after the first 5 minutes, I was dude, I cried. I'm not ashamed to say it. I've cried in 2 video games. One of them was The Last of Us, and the other one was Gears of War 2. Yeah, I cried, dude. I'm not not even ashamed.
Did you just say you cried during Gears of War 2? Because I played through all the Gears of War games, obviously.
Which is the one?
Oh wait, isn't there a 4th one now? I fuck that shit. That's gay. But I played through the first 3.
Which is the one where the bugs or whatever the aliens are going around and taking people hostage, and one of the guys that you're playing as, his wife got captured, and he goes to find his wife.
Dom's wife.
Dom's wife.
Is I think it's the end of the first one, man.
Nah, I don't think it's the end of the first one. It's either 2
I think
or
so
3.
because he's all fucked in the head in the second one about it.
Maybe. Well, whatever it is, I cried, dude. When he found his wife and she
For
comes
real?
out of she comes out of the coffin. Well, also at that, I played that and I was all fucked up over what's her face that cheated on me. I don't want to say her name. That cheated on me while I was
Right,
in
yeah,
Afghanistan.
right, of course.
So I was all fucked up.
Oh God,
So,
cunt of a human being. Yeah, don't ever. Yeah, dude, worst ever. Worst human beings ever. If your man is fighting overseas for our country or whatever, you horrible fucking dirty ditch scum whores. It's awful.
But anyways, so this character Dom is going to find his wife, and he finally finds her, and she walks out of this like whatever holding cell she's in, and he sees her, and she's fine. She's walking towards him. You know, she's got her makeup on, and she looks healthy. And he's like, "Oh, baby," and he like gives her a hug, and then she goes limp in his arms, and you see that he was just seeing what he wanted to see, and in reality, she was all decrepit, and her face is sunken in, and she's basically been tortured to the point where she can't speak. She's basically catatonic. And who's the other character? Not Dom, the other guy. Can you think of it?
Son of a bitch. The other big jet monster guy. Marcus Phoenix.
Marcus. So Marcus is just like, "I'm sorry, Dom." And Dom's like, "I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. You got to help me, man. I don't know what to do." And Marcus just kind of like walks away, and Dom takes out his pistol and shoots her in the head. And I cried. I don't know if I cried like, but I had tears. I had tears in my eyes. So the point of the story, what I'm trying to get at is that the games that I get into, I get into them. Like when I sit down to take a shit, I'll play fucking Angry Birds or whatever, and that's fun. I'll play Plants vs. Zombies. But when I sit down on my couch to play a console game on my TV, I play games that are very rich.
That's good. You should enjoy that stuff.
No, and you have to have games that are like totally immersive, man. But actually, hold up. Let's skip back to the Plenty of Fish thing and the whole like skills with that, because we've got a special guest in the house. We have we'll call her Charlie, because this is a stripper-based podcast here. So Charlie, how do you find success on these dating websites? Do you hear the female giggling in the background?
Oh, I hear that.
Well, let's not call her Charlie, because we've got a guy that might come on the podcast.
No. We'll call her Charlie. Trust. I mean, they're both feminine a little bit, but this is actual female Charlie. So the listeners will be able to differentiate. So how do you find success on dating websites to find us little Susias to play with? What? Have you? What?
Is she being shy?
She's being totally shy.
Quit being shy.
Oh, hold on. I'll make it so you guys can hear her. Hang on. So she can hear you. Go ahead.
Quit being shy.
They said quit being shy.
Quit being shy. You know who this is. Don't say my name, but you know who this is.
Yeah.
I was at your house.
Oh my God. She almost, before you said don't say my name, she points at me. She goes, "That's," and she mouthed it. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah. No. So come on, these dating websites that you go to find little dirty girls to play with us on.
They're all fat.
We talked about that earlier.
Oh shit!
What
no, it's true, man. She shows me these bitches that like a lot of chicks that message her, and she's like, no.
Probably because they can't find their own guy.
Wait, what'd you say?
Fat girl, that's gross.
That's true. And you know I don't like that. What are the 2 rules of the house?
No fatties, no uggos.
No fatties, no uggos. Remember, Jim, you remember? Fuck. Sarge, do you remember when, that's fine. Do you remember when, damn it, I've been drinking way too heavily.
I can edit that out as DJ.
Edit, whatever. Wiki. No, but, spin it back. No, but you remember, when I used to have the rule board at the condo, the 2 top rules on the board were no fatties, no uggos?
And I always, like, I don't know, you know me, I'm kind of like, I don't like to make people feel bad. I'm a little bit innocent. And every time I saw that, I was always like, why did you write that on your whiteboard?
Top 2 rules too, like right above no fakeness / bitch assness, and I don't remember what no jealous rage. That was a late entry because bitches would come in there with some jealous rage. I wasn't feeling it.
No fatties and no uggos.
That's got to be the name of a podcast, a future podcast.
I'm writing all these down. I got strippers and pizza and no fatties, no uggos.
I'm telling you, it's gold. Absolute gold. We need to get like 5 or 6 dudes on here. Like I like Dickum. He's got the right idea. I think we need like 5 or 6 dudes on here that can bounce off each other. Pause. No homo. And that can really like, you know, vocalize well on this shit because this could be good. This could be big.
I think so. I mean, just the fact that we are in the male entertainment industry, I think people might be just like Magic Mike blew up. People want to see what we're like, you know. As far as the way that we're marketed as bodies, you know, good looking guys. But I doubt that any of the girls show up to any of our shows thinking, oh, look at the host. I wonder if he has a telescope. I wonder if
these guys are intelligent, right? Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, it might be not so conducive to the illusion of the show. I wouldn't like advise girls who are coming to the show for the first time, like, hey, listen to this podcast. get all of your fantasy misconceptions about the fact that we just oil each other up and fucking lift a ton of weights all day, every day, and basically just eat red meat. Out of your head and listen to us talk about video games and fucking jerking off. Oh, Rio? Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is all that Rio does. That and backflips. He wakes up every day and backflips out of bed.
He's a pimp. Well, I mean, the way that I introduced the cowboy routine kind of like says it all. The way I introduced the cowboy routine is, who here is a fan of a man that can go out and plow the fields all day just to come home and plow you all night long?
Yep. Yeah, it's all about fantasy, man. Like the people that are going to listen to this, the girls that are going to listen to this are going to be interested in the deeper side of things and the fact that, because I have a feeling that like a lot of people have the misconception, especially the entertainers, more so than like management side, but especially the entertainers, they feel like have absolutely nothing of value, in the same way that like I listen to some shit, like I listen to different like porn star radio shows and different stripper stuff, and sometimes only because like I know them and I'm personal friends with them, but also because it's interesting that some of them have a lot of depth. Like a lot of people don't realize that Tara Patrick was a chair member of Mensa. Like that bitch is fucking brilliant. You know,
really?
You'd never expect that. Oh, hell yeah, dude. She's super brilliant. You'd never expect that. Sasha Grey, it's a pretty well-known fact that she has a genius IQ, above genius level IQ. So it's one of those things where it's interesting to see, like, okay, well, yeah, they're in this industry, and not just because they've got, you know, like, oh, I'm here to fuck, you know, like there's depth involved, and that's sort of, that'll be interesting. But, I mean, we have to make sure that it's going to be a continuing podcast of quality content from people that have that depth, you know, that can bounce off each other and that do have some shit to talk about.
Fantastic. Well,
and we got to get Dickum drunk. That's got to happen. We got to get that motherfucker hammered. He still lives with his parents, and he's so naive to the world, and he loves Adventure Time. I'm stoked to meet this kid. I can't believe I've never met. Did I meet him? Was he the DJ at Enclave or
Nah, you never met him.
Oh yeah, well, no, we're gonna fuck up your life.
He's cool, man.
It'll be
and
great.
as we got to know him, we at first we weren't tipping him out of the tip bucket, but a couple months ago we started throwing him $10, and now that business is good, like, what'd you get this last weekend, dude? We
like
throw
$40.
You, like, we threw him like another $40 on top of the 80 that he usually gets.
Right? The club
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's great, but they pay me.
Right.
Yeah,
fuck it.
Yeah, he gets paid, but like we added 50% on top of his
Yeah,
salary.
no, I really appreciate that. That helps me out a lot. I appreciate anything.
From now on, when we're counting the tip bucket, it's not our tip bucket. It's our, it's like our tip bucket.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See,
everyone
that's
puts in their share,
That's sort of part of like what I was talking about as far as the industry goes, as far as like it shouldn't be, you guys shouldn't be living off tips with the amount of money that flies around. But, whatever. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and the politics are what they are for right now. And until somebody comes around with enough will and enough drive and enough a loose enough butthole to prepare for the ramming that these clubs can give them, nothing's going to change. I mean, the manipulation and the negative stereotype of it all is going to continue, and you guys are going to be living off tips. When in reality, I feel like a show by dancers or by entertainers for entertainers, and a show that supports their entertainers is going to go eons further than anything that currently exists.
Delicious. Well, I think this is maybe a good place to wrap it up for the evening, right?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So my plan is, unless there's a problem, I'd like to do this every Sunday around 8:00. I'd like to eventually find some sort of venue online where we can do it live, so that maybe if anyone wants to tune in and ask questions or anything like that. I know Twitch is mainly for video games, so maybe we can find somewhere else where we can do it live.
I can do shoutcast. I mean, I did a show on Extreme Radio for years with 1,500, 2,000 listeners and off hours, and that was a lot of fun, man. You get IRC going, or IRC is extra nerdy, but you get some kind of Facebook fucking group with a chat or something like that. I mean, there's ways to do it. There's definitely ways to do it, and we can make it happen. We can also do same venue where everybody shows up to the same place, man. Like we could do it from the crib, man. We could fucking do it from the hot tub if you want to be real.
That would be crazy. Well, we'll get crazy, man.
That'd be kind of suspect. We'll get some video going, strippers in a hot tub talking about weird video game bullshit. Bitches
all right,
would watch
you guys,
guaranteed.
I know Irate almost said what minute are we at? All right. So we're at 121. I'm writing down 121. So we said my name at 113, and we almost said your name at 121. So
my name, I don't care. Fuck that. I'm gonna promote it. I don't give a shit.
All right. So do you have any of your businesses that you want to promote if anyone can find?
No. We don't have to go that far with it. But I mean,
all right. Well, if you're into video games or anything like that, we do another podcast. If you search Eat Lift Game, EATLAFTGAME, we do a video game type podcast.
You won't find me on there, unfortunately. But
yeah, Dickum, what do you got? If anyone wants to hire you for your DJ services, or do you even want to go that far?
I mean, sure. Tell them to get a hold of you.
Go to the Philosostrippers, PHILOSOSTRIPPERS, the Philosostrippers on Facebook. You can reach us there.
Yeah, and post. I want to get digged down.
Philosostrippers.
Post. I want to get digged down, and that's how you get DJ Dickum to come work the event.
Perfect. All right. Well, until next time. Thanks for listening, and we're gonna bleep out some names and have some more wine, and we'll get back to you next week.
Later, bitches.
Yeah, Dickum, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Irate.
Oh, we out. Later, bitches.
All right. Later, guys.